Hey, welcome everybody to the Salon Coaching and SOS Small Business Success podcast. We're all about building brands that survive while helping you to thrive. And welcome, guys. Welcome aboard. I am your host, Bonnie Bonadeo. And since this is season 3 for this podcast, I'm going to reintroduce myself and give you a little history because I've had some new things that have happened over time, which has been super fantastic and great. And hey, happy March to everybody here. So welcome aboard. I have had 100 episodes. I'm on Spotify, Anchor, iTunes, you name it. You can find the podcast in all of these places. But let me do a reintroduction of myself here. My name is Bonnie Bonadeo, your host. I'm a speaker, coach, author, and podcaster. So those are kind of the 4 categories that I reference that I spend most of my time in. So public speaking, training people on how to be able to speak, coaching. I've got a couple different coaching elements that I work with. I'm a 7 times international best-selling author. And of course, I love podcasting. I had a radio show, live radio show for about 5 years, had over 75,000 followers a month. It was called Beauty Inside and Out. I've since let that particular radio show go. I do more of a podcast now, but I've converted the Beauty Inside and Out to a breakthrough coaching program. So I am a certified emotional intelligence speaker, trainer, and coach. So most of that, my foundational coaching is based on emotional intelligence. I'm a story brand guide, so I've been trained on some high-level marketing opportunities to be able to help you with what seems to be a very time-consuming topic, marketing, and a struggle for a lot of people as well. I'm a certified NLP coach, timeline therapy coach, and of course a certified hypnotherapist. All of those things I utilize in different ways in my coaching process, and you'll hear more about that as we kind of progress through today's podcast and session here. But most importantly, what I am is a licensed cosmetologist. So I am grateful for that license that I got when I was 18 years of age, because it's kept me in the beauty industry for all this time, but also helped me to be able to support other small businesses that fall in that brick and mortar, that service-based business that fall into brick and mortar. So whether it's spa, wellness, dentistry, I mean, you name it, these are the type of businesses that I support in coaching and speaking and training programs. So anything that's a small business where you are the entrepreneur, owner, and you're wearing all the hats. Okay, I get it. I'm doing the same thing. So my different brands that I have that I kind of work with, in my business and as an entrepreneur is, of course, the SOS salon coaching brand, kind of geared more towards the salon business, spa, wellness industries. I kind of keep that categorized there. Of course, I am the director of marketing at Intrigue Salon, which is my husband's salon, and I spend a lot of time in the salon. So I'm very familiar with the service-based type of industry. I'm very familiar with the leadership role and the marketing role that I must play in that space. So it's a great position for me to be in, because I'm actively engaging and using all of the coaching elements that I have to offer my clients. I'm doing them, so I know that they work. Then, of course, I have the Beauty Inside and Out Breakthrough Coaching Program. Kind of leans more towards a life coaching program. It really incorporates more of the NLP, timeline therapy, emotional intelligence, hypnotherapist pieces. Do we talk about business in those type of coaching programs? Of course, because business is a big part of our everyday lives. But it's really an opportunity to be able to help people with healing traumas, being able to reinvent themselves at some point in their lives. So second careers, third careers, struggling with loss, things like that. The Beauty Inside and Out Breakthrough Coaching is really important for. Of course, I have a marketing agency called Brand Me. This agency is pretty much kind of like, I teach you some skills to be able to be a good marketer, so a DIY approach, or there's the opportunity for me to do it with you And then there is the opportunity for me and my other resources, my marketing experts, to do it for you. So whether that's website, social media, somebody to be able to help schedule copyright, push out marketing, blogs, anything like that. I've got the resources for you to be able to help you so that you can be a better marketer and grow your business. And then, of course, I put in here for fun my Batshit Bonnie's cupcakes, because I'm a very small time baker. I do it for fun. I do it as a passion project, but I'm loving the idea of learning and doing something creative. It's helping me to refine skills and be able to grow and realize that, hey, sometimes as adult we need to do some fun things, but we also need to learn the skills and the tools behind some of those fun things. So you can check out my Instagram, Batshit Bonnie's Treats. Look that up and you can see some of the work that I've done on cupcakes, cooking, and other baking items in there. So that's a little bit about me to kind of like start out season 3 with. So the structure that I work with in my SOS coaching, and I'll kind of lean more towards this piece for now, but I will involve more of it as we kind of progress into season 3 with that. But the framework that I use for success is looking at 5 anchors that, managing all 5 of these anchors, being able to dedicate and devote some time to all 5 of these anchors is going to be able to help you be a successful business. And those anchors are sales, operation, mindset, marketing, and education. So I want you to think about, if you're looking to grow your business, then one of the ways that you have to be able to do that is you have to be able to say, I need to increase sales, right? And there's only a handful of ways for you to be able to increase sales. It's, you got to sell more to the people you have, or you have to find new people. You have to add on more people, or you have to expect your people that you currently have to be selling more as well. So it's kind of an internal, external approach to being able to grow your sales. You got to keep that part really big picture, but you also have to keep it very simple. Don't overcomplicate it, because most of the time when we look at sales strategies, they usually fall into other arenas like operations. So leadership, your financials, management pieces, becoming a little bit more driven towards technology and being able to have more automation in your business. AI is going to be a big topic and a big thing that we're going to continue to discuss as we go into season 3, so that you can kind of engage in how you can utilize some of this technology to be able to do your business. Because I know most of the businesses that I spend time coaching and working with are service-based businesses. In other words, you have to show up in order to have the service. It's not a product-based business, it's a service-based business. So it's not like they're selling the actual product delivery online. It's something that you have to come in for, make an appointment for, have a service done type of thing. So there are some different elements to growing a business as a service-based business. So we talk a lot about operations. There's hiring, HR, everything falls into operations in that particular category. And then of course we have mindset. Mindset is a category that really caters to where you're at as the owner, the leader, where you're at as, being able to have the life that you say that you want. Or is there balance? Are you working too much? Are you not achieving the things you want? Are you in survival mode? We want to get you to that place where your mindset is thriving so that your business can start thriving. So a lot of hypnotherapy, timeline therapy, NLP, emotional intelligence work kind of falls into that mindset piece. And then of course, marketing, which we talked about, a big, heavy topic that people think just kind of revolves around social media, but there's so many more elements to it. And as we're kind of progressing into 2023, I'm noticing that there's a lot more of our traditional marketing tools coming available to us. And then also being able to look at word of mouth, always still being the number one marketing tool that you can have. But word of mouth sometimes requires you to have some direct and indirect connection marketing strategies in order to achieve that word of mouth that you have going on there. So it ties back into operations, and then it can tie into our final anchor, which is education. What do you need to learn? What does your team need to learn? What's next for you? How do you continue to grow by learning, applying, doing, being in action? You know, we have this philosophy that we know what we need to do. And if we don't understand it or we need more education on it, we get the education to be able to do, but then sometimes we don't always follow through with the action. And you can see that this is a circle. Okay, sales, operations, mindset, marketing, education becomes full circle to be able to help you to have that success that you're looking for in there. Now, season 3, I'm going to spend more of my time focusing on 3 different particular areas. We're going to tap into all of them, of course. It makes sense to do that, but we're definitely going to involve more guests and bring some more expertise to this particular podcast. We're going to focus in on leadership because I've realized that that's kind of the tricky element that I find with my clients is kind of not only leading themselves, but leading other people, and then how that ties back into communication skills. So we're going to talk a lot about leadership this season, and also then mindset. We're going to keep tapping into that mindset because I can see people are struggling with not wanting to overwork themselves, but also what are they working on that seems to be a priority or most important to have the ultimate return on investment in there. So that's what our focus is going to be. But today is March 1st and 2023. So welcome to March, everybody. And it's also Women's History Month. And so shout out to all those women that are doing their best every day to love, care, and compete in this ever-changing world. And I say compete with total passion and compassion, because it still is very much a competitive world out there in the marketplace, not necessarily against each other, but just against the odds, you know, family, you know, time, the everyday challenges, the economy, the cost of goods today, like all of those things we're competing with in order to be the best version of ourselves. So I just really want to do a shout out to all those women out there that I love you. I'm here for you. And I look forward to gathering some women coming this, you know, later part of spring and early summer to be able to share some fantastic and some great opportunities for you guys to see how powerful some of the women that are in my network and that I'm connected with, what they have to offer to be able to help you as well. And of course, here's some recent projects that I've been up to this year, since we're kind of still in this space of season 3 being a kind of a new brand, a new feel for this podcast. So I just recently launched a book called Women Standing Strong Together. It's a version 2 or volume 2, and it's a collective of 14 different women, including myself, of their stories of heart and hope. And some of the stories are just downright unbelievable, sad, adventurous, heroic, and healing on top of it. So my story, One Day, Two Loves, is in regards to the chapter within the book in regards to losing my mom and my dog on the same day last September. And I wrote it when it was all very fresh and very new and very raw. So it's just now launched at this point. So I hope that you engage in getting a copy for yourself and reading these stories of these beautiful women, since it is Women's History Month and soon to be International Women's Day here coming up on March 8th. So I'm excited about that. You can get it on Amazon. So just look it up, Women Standing Strong Together, Volume 2. And as of March 15th, you'll be able to buy it directly from me, from my website. So listen, it's a story of loss, healing, but most importantly, these stories from all these women, including me, are about stories of hope. So I hope that you see it as an opportunity to be able to do that. Now, since we said that leadership, I don't have a guest today. It's because I wanted to kind of launch season 3 myself, but we'll have guests as we kind of progress through the month and from here on out. But I did want to touch on leadership and mindset a little bit today. So one of the things that I know to be true about leadership is that you got to lead with confidence, conviction, clarity, and curiosity. Okay. So Confidence, because I know that when we have to deal with a leadership piece that is not fun. Okay, it's more of a corrective measure. It's more of, letting somebody know that you need them to be doing something because what they're doing isn't working, and we're kind of redirecting them in a place. And you got to do that with confidence. And one of the things that I can tell you, and as we progress with conversations around leadership throughout this podcast, is that people struggle the most with how to start the conversation. And not only do they struggle the most with how to start, but typically, and most of the time, they start with the wrong approach. And then what that does is it triggers a behavior, triggers that fight and flight or that reactionary moment within another person. And then the conversation doesn't go well at all. So it's no wonder that we don't like sometimes having to do these leadership conversations. And then we have a tendency to overreact or avoid or just, neglect it and act like it's going to go away when in fact it starts to serve us up again. And we realize later that we have to take care of it even more. So confidence is one of the things that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about how to start those difficult conversations and how to be able to acknowledge people in that process so that they feel valued, loved, and appreciated and respected. Okay. The second thing is conviction. And, I had to look up that word a little bit today because, trying to kind of create this symbol around conviction, it has a negative side to it, like you've been convicted, okay, like you're guilty of something, right? But conviction on the other side is kind of like you have such a strong core value and or belief, and it could even slide over to opinion, although I don't want to go into in the opinion world. There's too many opinions going on in our world right now. But I want you to think about it as a core value or belief. Okay. So if you have a core value or belief and you're leading people based on that, then your conviction will be strong. If you have a core value and belief as your brand, your business brand, then you have that structure that you're within. In other words, you're not going to go outside the lines of this is how we do business. This is how I want you to do business. Let me teach you or show you or provide for you what that needs to be or look like so that you can do business with us as we choose to do business. Okay. So conviction is a pretty important one, but I want you to think about conviction like I'm going to show you the way. Okay. I'm going to provide for you so that I can show you the way of what is highly valued based on me as an individual, as a leader, and based on the business and the brand that we are representing and putting out into the community. Okay. The third thing is clarity. And clarity is being so clear that there's no question and not convoluting or diluting or graying up a conversation if you're trying to be the best leader that you can. And we have a tendency sometimes to say too much, do too much, or divert the conversation because it starts to feel bad and we want it to feel good again. So we kind of pull back on it instead of staying in that conversation a little bit longer to create that level of clarity that both parties are now aware of and can agree upon, and then move forward from there. And then, of course, the final C here is curiosity. And there's a lot around curiosity. Really quality, high-level coaching conversations are based on curiosity. And I want to be able to teach you some of these conversations and how to be able to go about them with that level of curiosity. That's going to help you to be able to see how much more powerful and effective you can be as a leader when curiosity is kind of a big part of the words that you're using in there. So there's my 4 C's for leadership. Again, we'll keep kind of diving deeper and deeper into these so that you can start to feel more comfortable with the way that the content is set up in this podcast. Because I want this podcast to not just be, me sharing about myself and me having guests on and them sharing about what they're about and what they have to offer, but also I want it to be something that you really feel is like a learning tool for you, that you can listen to this for this 20 minutes and then be able to apply some of these things immediately or take notes on them and use them as a reference for you. So let's get into mindset before we wrap up today. So I have 3 C's in the mindset area, okay? And one of them is celebrate. And what that means is to be able to celebrate your successes, because every day can seem like a struggle sometimes. Every day we wake up and sometimes it feels repetitive or monotonous or, Groundhog Day feeling. And what we forget to do for ourselves and others is celebrate their successes. So let's say, for example, that you had a really great month of February and you super exceeded what you did last year in February, or it's been your best February ever. I want you to celebrate that. I want you to celebrate that success, because what you're going to do is you're going to do this sometimes. You're going to be like, oh, it was a really great month, but it would have been even better if. And then we downplay or downgrade that level of success. I want you to just stay in and celebrate the success. I had the best month ever. It was great. Okay. Let's look at it from a different point of view. Let's say that somebody had their best month and you want to be able to share with them. So you could be like, oh, I just want you to know that you've had your best month ever. And then we kind of convolute the conversation. This is where we jack it up with lack of clarity. We jack it up and say, if you did this, you could continue to have these great months. Okay, just don't add that other part to it. Just celebrate what somebody did really great. And then an example in our personal lives and maybe our personal relationships is, Jeff has been working out every day. He's been eating really good. He's lost like 15 pounds. And when you're that close to somebody, sometimes you don't notice it, but you want to know what? He looks really great, and I wanted to celebrate his success. And now I want to join him and be way more in alignment with what he's up to, because I'm seeing the success that he's having. And it's easier for me to jump in and celebrate his success, and then also look for ways that we can do this together as well. So celebrate for sure. Communicate. Number C, second C in the mindset, communicate. Always err on the side of communicating. When you avoid people, they know it and they feel it. And then you kind of start creating this muck around you that never really gets cleaned up. You might kind of like put a towel down or put a rug down, but the muck is still underneath there. So you got to always err on the side of communicating. And again, going back to that leadership piece, effective communications. Okay. And then ultimately, in order for your mindset to be at its best, you want to be able to connect with the people that are going to celebrate you, that are going to communicate effectively with you, that are going to support you. Look for ways to be able to get out there and connect even more than you are in striving to learn, to be that better person, to grow your business, to grow your team, okay, to do things for yourself. All right, so make those connections happen for you. And here's my way of you guys being able to connect with me. So obviously you can find me on social media. Bonnie Bonadeo is kind of the foundational name that if you search me, you'll find any of my social media pages in there. If you want to set up an appointment with me to be able to have a strategy session or a discovery call in any one of those categories that I've discussed with you already, you can go to soscoachme.com. That's kind of a starting point for us. And that will give you an opportunity to find some time on my calendar so that we can meet and discuss what your needs are. And then we can decide maybe which particular category or brand is best suited for you based on what your needs are. Of course, you can always listen to my podcast here on Spotify. I usually drop one every Wednesday. So it'll be most Wednesdays, as we're going into season 3, because I've got a lot more business and activity that I'm working on right now and preparing to launch. And then, of course, you can watch my podcast on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and type in SOS Small Biz Success, you'll be able to find it. Or here's a bit.ly link, bit.ly/SOSYT podcast. And you can find it that way as well. So those are some ways for you guys to be able to connect with me and share with me. So I look forward to bringing season 3 podcast to you, bringing some fabulous guests to you as well. And until we meet again, Look forward to seeing you then.